Welcome, everybody, to Perry Home Solutions Real Estate Update. I am your primary yet co-host, Brian Perry.
Primary.
And this is...
I guess I'm the secondary, Julie Perry.
Those are your words, not mine. I did not say that.
Okay. We are in Palm Beach County helping people buy and sell real estate.
Yep, that's what we do.
Yep, that's what we are.
Okay, so we have a couple of topics that we'd like to cover today. I guess I'll start with talking about the overall real estate market as we are in late October of 2023. This is what we're going to talk about. So anyway.
Okay.
So a couple of brief numbers here just to give us a baseline here. These are actually September numbers because in real estate, everything comes out 30 days late. And so that's just how that works. So in September, single family homes, the number of closed sales year over year in the month of September were down 5.8%, essentially 6%. So that's not great. However, there's still a couple of good things here. The median sales price is up 3.4%. So if you are selling a house, that's good for you, right?
Yep.
And another interesting number is inventory of active listings, which is down 5.3% year over year, 2023 to 2022 in the month of September. So basically, the number of sales are down and the amount of inventory is down, which is kind of fascinating. Julie, any thoughts on that?
The amount of active listings. Because
active listings,
yes.
sure. Yep.
Because the month supply inventory is actually up 14%.
Yeah, because the month supply of inventory is calculated based on the number of sales versus the number of listings.
How long it will take to sell everything that's available.
Right,
basically.
right. Yeah. So anyway, that's just kind of fascinating. You know, the number of sales has declined. Okay, so any other thoughts on that? Because I'm going to move into the other things which are kind of relevant to this.
Condos are a little bit better.
I don't really get into condos as much because condos are a whole different beast, animal thing.
But they're both also, units is also down, not as much, but also down 1.4. And the month supply of inventory is up 72%, which is significant.
Well, I don't really pay any attention to the month supply of inventory. That's not the most valuable stat to me. I like to see the actual inventory. The actual inventory is up 35%, which is fascinating. And that's why I don't really look at the condos because they're a smaller market by a margin. And it's fascinating that the inventory of single families is down 5% and the inventory of condominiums and townhouses is up 34%. Now, I didn't really want to get into the townhouse thing because remember, we had that condominium collapse in Miami, and they've instituted all kinds of like onerous rules on condos and expenses and blah, blah, blah. And financing on condos is challenging. So it's kind of a different world. Maybe we'll do that next video.
Right. Now, we did do a condo regulations video in the past.
Yeah, go watch that because that explains some of this. And maybe we'll dive back into it because it's a thing. And also, yeah. Well, anyway, I don't want to talk about condos too much.
Yeah, very good.
So,
moving on.
Okay, so then the question is, okay, so the amount of inventory is down, and it's only down 5% year over year, but it's actually down really significantly over a period of time. Inventory used to be much higher than it is now, historically.
Right.
And COVID, it dropped to the bottom, the depths, and it's bounced a little bit, but not that much. We're still maintaining a pretty low inventory.
Kind of went up a little bit, and now it's kind of,
Yeah. Well, it went down like this, boom, hit the ground, and then just bounced off the ground like a little bit, right? And so we were here, and like we're now here, right?
Yeah.
And so why is that?
Well, I think. Just on my phone. So I think there's a couple of things that are putting a lot of pressure, which I guess you're gonna be talking about that probably later. It seems like.
Yeah.
Mortgage rates.
Right.
Because there's a lot of factors, but one particularly being mortgage rates. I think less people have the incentive to move. So if you're not selling, then that will also turn into less active inventory.
So let's talk about the incentive to move.
Right.
So right now, this is a Reuters article from this morning, October 25th, and it says U.S. mortgage rates soar to the highest in 23 years. To not bury the lead too deeply, the 7.9% average contract rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage was up 20 basis points from the prior week. So even though the Fed did not raise rates in their last meeting, mortgage rates have continued to rise since then, which is pretty fascinating.
Right.
And what that's done is it has, a lot of people think that that has a major effect on the buyers, which obviously it does, but we're not really seeing the issue because the amount of closed sales is only down marginally. What we're seeing is it's actually really impacting people selling houses, which is bizarre. Less people sell houses. Why? Because if you refinanced in the last 1 or 2 years, your rate's probably below 4%. And if you sell, if you have to buy another house, now you're going to be taking on this now 7.9% interest rate.
Almost double, probably from what you have.
Yeah, and even more than double for some people, because some people locked them in at the bottom at like 3% or whatever. And then so why are you going to sell your house and then go buy another house at double the interest rate? You're basically, that I won't get into that too deeply, but that doesn't make sense for a lot of people. So that is constricting the inventory, and that's a major problem. Now that leads me into article number 2. Do you have any thoughts on that before I do that?
Well, I think the interesting dynamic. So we have a couple of things that are affecting affordability. We have high interest rates. Then you have here in our area, South Florida, high insurance rates.
Yeah.
Then you also have high inflation and just overall higher cost of living. So all of those things affect affordability, which normally you would think would make the prices go down, because when affordability becomes an issue, people automatically think, well, that's going to put downward pressure on prices, so prices are going to come down. But then the other side of that coin is because there's less people selling and less inventory, that's also kind of keeping the prices somewhat steady, or maybe the decrease is not as fast as some people would think or hope or predict, because the inventory is still very low. So that even though affordability is an issue, inventory is also making it so the prices they're not dropping dramatically.
Yeah.
So
because normally what you'd see is if you see buying down an amount like 6%, you'd normally see prices drop. And also what you normally see is connected to that is inventory would rise because fewer people are buying. But you're not seeing that. Inventory is dropping with buying, which is weird. And prices are kind of maintaining, maybe even going up or slightly down or something. Okay, so on to the next thing. September new home sales surged 12.3%. New construction. So it says new home sales, but it's new construction. With too few existing homes for sale, more home buyers opted for new construction, which saw sales rise 12.3% month to month and 33% year to year. So that's significant. So a lot of people, because there's not the inventory for resales, are simply going to builders and buying from builders as well. You know,
and I think there was a lot of new builders came into the market. Remember, buildings that are going on now, there were permits that were pulled 6 months, a year ago, maybe longer. But I guess the question is, what do the builders do now? Because some people are saying that maybe the builders see all of this decrease in units as a sign of a weaker market coming, less buyers, which then of course make the builders nervous because they don't want to end up with a bunch of inventory that they've built and now the buyers are not there. So hopefully, I guess, it's a very strange dynamic that you're trying to balance, like a balancing act, because we do need those builders to build so we can fix the inventory issue that we have. But also builders get nervous if they don't feel like the demand's going to be there and they could stop building. So I think that's kind of interesting.
It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
And then so bottom line on this is that, of course, the major story in real estate is that interest rates have gone up, significantly. They've risen at an incredibly rapid rate. As far as the trajectory of increase, it's the highest that we've ever seen. And so, there's been really fascinating response to that from the market. And then, so the question is, what's going to happen? A lot of people predict that they're going to start cutting rates at some point, and a lot of people predict that when they cut rates, all of a sudden the value of homes is going to pop up because way more people are going to buy. It's going to unlock people's ability to sell and more activity happening. That may happen. I don't know. So far, that hasn't happened. I do know that 6 months, 9 months ago, a lot of people were predicting that by now they'd be cutting rates. By now, rates would be lower, not higher. At that time, rates was probably like 6.5%, and I think a lot of people I talked to predicted that they get up to like 7, and then by late summer they'd start dropping them, and by now we'd be at like 5 or something like that. And that didn't happen. They just kept going up. So the Federal Reserve has stated that their goal is to stop inflation. And
Right.
inflation is, the definition of inflation is stuff costs more money.
Right.
And so real estate stuff and everything else is stuff. And so until stuff doesn't cost more money, they're not going to cut rates. That's what they've stated. Whether or not they do, I don't know. But that's their statement, right?
Right. And I guess some of the reports that have come out lately are still showing a strong consumer spending, which is not good for the rates, because if the economy remains strong, or as far as they can consider strong, then the likelihood that they will continue to raise, or at least keep them, is probably higher. So.
Well, I could keep jabbering on about interest rates for a long period of time, but I think that's basically the whole summary, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's much else to say. We'll have to see what happens. If they start slicing rates right now, listen, that's not always perfect, because sure, maybe house prices do go up, but
We
there's
already have an affordability issue, so that's.
well, we
not-
also
yeah.
had we've had an inflation issue. A dollar in 2020 is worth 83 cents today, and so that's an issue for many people as well. And if you fire up that inflation thing, then that's going to be worse.
Other problems.
Anyway, so if you have any comments or thoughts on that, we welcome them. So please comment on the video that you're watching, and we'd love to hear it. Anyway, that's that for that. We have a couple of Perry Home Solutions announcements. What we got coming up, V? Talk to us.
So
We got
that
good
time
stuff,
of the
man.
year, we have our pie giveaway coming up. Details coming soon. So for those that are new to this concept, we give huge apple pies for Thanksgiving. So anybody that wants apple pie, they just reach out to us and they reserve their pie. And we have a toy drive also.
Well, let me
go ahead.
just add to that real quick. We normally we'll do it like right before Thanksgiving. We haven't set the date yet or anything, but it's usually like right before Thanksgiving. Just so you know, if you want a pie, kind of think about that, because we'll have them. So
Right. And also we're going to be combining that with our toy drive for the holidays. So if you wanted to drop off a new toy, or if you wanted to come at the same time that you're picking up your pie, drop off a toy, we're also going to be doing that again this year.
yeah. So are we partnering with Boynton Beach Police Department on that? Because we have a few organizations that we do it with. Coeur d'Alene and Boynton Beach Police. We did Palm Beach Sheriff's Office as well. So sometimes we'll partner with one, sometimes we'll do all of them, because we actually get so many. We're going to have a lot of toys this year. We get like a lot. And so oftentimes we almost can't even fit them in the car. They come to get them. So we'll do multiple. But I think we're almost definitely doing Boynton Beach Police
Yes.
this year, right?
We're still working on some of those details, but yeah, probably.
Do you think they're going to let us like bring toys to somebody's house to give them to kids? Because we did that like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that
we've
was
done
fun.
that in the past. I'm not sure
We kind of did a ride along,
what
like
it's gonna
the
look
cop
like
show.
this year.
What you going to do
Yes.
when they bring toys for you?
Yeah. So we'll see. Stay tuned.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.